Hey guys, Anna here, and I'm excited to share something a little bit different with you today. Today we're going to focus on floral design and how to design our paintings in such a way that they look even better than the real thing. So yesterday I started this 16 by 20 painting, and I really wanted to focus most of my energy on the top part of the painting, including this bloom here, which is actually this one in my bouquet. And as you can see, it's opened up quite a lot even since yesterday. I finished up yesterday after about 3 or 4 hours of work and put my palette in the freezer, and I put my bouquet actually in the refrigerator to kind of keep it until I could work on it today. And putting your flowers in a refrigerator does help a lot, but as soon as you put them back under the light, they start to open right up again. So you can see this one too, it's opening up a whole lot. And I've also got some competition going here between the big red peonies and the honey gold peonies from my garden. And so that's a kind of a design conundrum. Now, how do we make them complement each other while still having a really obvious focal point in the painting? So that's one of the problems that I'm going to attempt to solve today. As you can see in my block-in, I started to block in another honey gold peony down here. And that was actually when my bouquet didn't have anything kind of in that area. It was sort of a dead zone. So I anticipated that I'm going to move these flowers around in my vase. I'm going to kind of shift things a little bit just to see if I like different angles better. And because I'm limited to just 2 honey gold peonies, because my garden in Colorado doesn't do a great job every year, it's trying. Needless to say, I'm thankful that it produced any at all, and they smell so good. But that being said, when you have limited resources, when you only have 1 or 2 flowers to work from, it's okay. You can milk it for all it's worth. So what I'm going to do is I'm moving the one that was actually in the back of my bouquet, the one that I depicted right here, and I'm moving it forward, and I'm going to use that to fill in the gap down here. Now, even though they're tucked real tight together in my bouquet, that doesn't matter as much as just having it kind of in the same relative area that I want the light to be hitting it. So I haven't changed my lighting. I haven't changed where the bouquet is sitting on the table here. I'm just changing the bouquet itself, and the light will stay the same. My position to the painting will stay the same. So I'm just using a 360-degree view of my bouquet to get the most out of it that I possibly can. So that is my goal for today, to solve some of those problems there. As you can see, some of these flowers got a little bit wilty overnight, and that's okay. I got photos. I can work from photos if I need to. I'm also not crazy about these lilacs. These are from my backyard. And I might decide later that maybe that's too much purple on that side and it needs something else to balance it out. Still working through that as well. One other question that I have in my mind is, with these competing big shapes over here on this side, does this side of the painting need something to balance that out? Possibly more red, or maybe allowing this one to open up some more, or maybe even this one here in the back, bring that forward and give it a more dominant spot on this side of the painting. Those are problems I'm going to solve as I go, so I hope you enjoy. I recorded a full-length demonstration on painting one of these white and yellow peonies, and I have that video exclusively available for my monthly and annual subscribers on my instructional video site, Learn from Anna Rose Bain. If you enjoy my content and want to take your painting to the next level, then check it out. Lots of the videos are free. All you have to do is register. So at the beginning of the video, we talked about the problem of the competing shapes, the large red flower next to the large honey gold peony. And I finally decided, after I had gotten a little bit further along on this, that I needed to take drastic measures and completely darken the background. So the background wasn't even entirely dry, but I loaded my paintbrush and got to work. And as you can see, by darkening the background, it decreases the contrast between the red flower and the background, which causes the white flowers to stand out even more. And so that is key to making my honey gold peonies the center focus of this painting. Now, in the process of painting the background, I'm also building up some of these other shapes back here. The light colored peony that is sort of toward the top of the painting is still drawing my eye out of the design, and so I'm going to have to come back to that. Here you see me adding more ranunculus. I love how they tilt in space and create all these wonderful different angles and shapes. And so I kind of got attached to this one, the one here that's turning sideways a little bit. But kind of the theme of this whole painting overall was not to make anything too precious, because things just don't always work out the way you want them to. Next up, you see me, I completely replaced that ranunculus with another honeygold peony. And I added a few more ranunculus down here. I've completely gotten rid of the lilacs and these green droopy flowers in the front. Still unsure about those. So a lot of decisions are still being made at this point. You see me eliminating flowers, adding flowers. And here I've finally gotten rid of the white peony at the top of the painting. I just decided it was too distracting and it was taking away from my focal point, and I had to just let it go, just like I did with the ranunculus. I've also changed the location of one of the buds so that it creates a bridge between the main peony and the one below it. A bridge meaning just kind of a visual connecting point between those two large shapes. And I keep adding and taking away different ranunculus. Of course, at this point, they've been opening up and changing a whole lot. And I've also taken lots of pictures of them at different angles, so I have a lot of reference to work from, which is super helpful. And I just want to make sure that they're not taking away from my main focal point and that they're supporting the rhythms that I have in this painting overall. It can be frustrating to have to repaint an area several times or replace something that you thought you painted really well. But that's all part of the process, and painting really is an exercise in letting go and letting the painting develop how it will. So finally, I decided to bring some of these shapes down towards the vase, cover up some of the bottom of the vase. I added this orange ranunculus here and then promptly wiped it out afterwards and decided it was way too distracting on that side of the painting. I got rid of the green flowers on the other side and replaced them with another large fuchsia peony. And there was a lot of reworking on the other side of the painting too. Finally, when you look at the finished painting, you can see the decisions I made. I wanted it to be well balanced, but not too symmetrical. I wanted the ranunculus to create this connecting thread throughout the entire composition, and I wanted those honeygold peonies to really stand out. So by darkening the background, by changing some of those shapes surrounding those peonies, and by making sure that they took center stage, I was able to achieve my goal for this painting, and that was to really highlight the beauty and the delicacy of those peonies. And all the supporting players are adding to that instead of competing for attention. Overall, I'm really happy with how this painting turned out. It definitely took me on a journey, and as you explore floral painting for yourself, I hope that you'll keep that in mind, that it really is a whole lot of give and take, adding, removing, trying things out, seeing how they land. Just enjoy the process. With every single change that you make to your painting, you're making decisions and you're problem solving, and that's what it's all about.